Man, Tyson still has the punching power. Yeah, Tyson catches him with a good one. It's obviously lights out for Jake Paul, but that's iffy.
Jake Paul is that one name in boxing that has received a lot of hate, criticism, and endless doubts. But here he is, about to step into the ring with one of the most feared men in heavyweight history, Mike Tyson. A fight like this was unthinkable just a few years ago.
It's entertainment. Definitely entertainment. It's a big difference between boxing and entertainment.
Yet, with less than 6 days to the fight, everyone is asking the same question. Is Jake really ready for a legend like Tyson, or is he way over his head? Well, while there can be a straightforward yes or no answer to this, the pros think differently, and not everyone thinks Mike Tyson will go home as the winner.
Body punches, great headshots, and we just have to see if he's going to do them in the ring. I'm hoping that he'll do.
The first loudest voice expressing this idea has been Bob Arum. He believes Jake Paul is going to win, and he's not even softening the edges with what he says. To him, Mike Tyson is just too old to be in a serious fight. A 58-year-old guy, no matter how good they were, no matter how athletic they were, is not going to be able to fight, Arum said in an interview. The man is just brutally honest. Tyson, in Arum's view, isn't just aging. He's a completely different fighter now. He's slower, less powerful, and lacking the muscle memory that made him a legend. Age, as Arum puts it, doesn't just make you slower. It makes you lose that natural rhythm, that instinctual movement in the ring.
Prediction, if Mike don't get him out of there in 4 rounds, I'll say 5 rounds, then I believe that Jake Paul's going to win the fight.
And for Arum, that's something Tyson can't overcome. Arum even adds that he hopes Mike doesn't get hurt. It's that serious to him. In Arum's eyes, Jake has all the advantages: youth, endurance, and freshness. And he's convinced that's enough to make Jake come out on top.
Oh, Jake, did you see Mike Tyson
dropping his sparring partner?
I was talking about, I fucking saw it.
I was talking about
no shit, I saw it. And I don't give a fuck. Sure, he's looking good. Sure, he's looking all of that. Oh, he's dropping people. He's fast. So the fuck am I. People want the truth.
I don't think.
Then there's Lennox Lewis, who doesn't just disagree with Arum. He's ready to put his faith in Tyson. Lewis thinks people are underestimating Mike, especially because they think he's too old. Mike Tyson's gonna win. He's not that old. Don't take him too softly, Lewis told Fox 29. To Lewis, Tyson isn't a regular 58-year-old. He's Mike Tyson, the guy who could knock people out with a single punch.
And what did you initially think when you heard that Mike Tyson was going to be getting in the ring with Jake?
I was thinking that Jake Paul was going to be in trouble because, Mike Tyson knows how to throw great body punches, great headshots. And, we just have to see if he's going to do them in the ring. I'm hoping that he'll do that. It's a task. It's hard to box at when you're that old, moving around the ring, throwing punches, getting punches thrown at you. But I think he can handle it.
Lewis isn't just putting Tyson up on a pedestal, though. He's also pointing out something about Jake that no one else is really saying. Jake, in Lewis's eyes, isn't a true fighter. Yes, Jake has a following, has a career as a YouTuber, and he's fought some high-profile matches, but in Lewis's opinion, that's not the same as having the kind of experience that Tyson has. Lewis even gets personal, saying he and Tyson are just 1 year apart, meaning he knows exactly what Tyson's physical limits might be, and he's confident Tyson is still strong enough to take down Jake.
And against a guy that not as good as boxer as he is, and Mike Tyson knows how to throw a good punch, he knows how to break you down, so I'm more concerned about the other guy than Mike Tyson.
And that's the same thing Roy Jones sees. Roy Jones Jr. has a view that's right down the middle, but definitely leaning towards Tyson. He's not dismissing Jake, but he's also not putting him on the same level as Tyson. To him, this fight is like a battle between a young lion and an old lion. And while that might sound balanced, Jones's respect for Tyson's abilities tips his stance toward Tyson having the edge.
For them, a great situation for fans because it gives him an opportunity. It gives Jake a chance with Mike being as old as he is. You feel me? So I think it's a great opportunity for both fighters, but I still think Mike probably gonna be a little too much for Jake.
It's a young lion and an old lion, he says, almost hinting at how Tyson might still have that fight within him. But he's also fair enough to acknowledge that age is something that can't be ignored. The old lion has experience, but the young lion has that youthful endurance.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you.
Jones calls it a great opportunity for both fighters, but makes it clear that at the end of the day, he still thinks Tyson's experience and power will be too much for Jake. Jones believes Jake is stepping up against someone who, while older, is still a serious threat. He respects Jake for stepping up, but he's realistic about what Tyson can bring into the ring, even at 58.
People who are out there saying, we think Mike's too old for this fight. Tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
Then there's Buster Douglas, and if you think he's going easy on Jake, think again. Douglas doesn't just believe Tyson will win. He thinks it'll be one of the easiest fights of Tyson's career. Douglas, the man who actually defeated Tyson back in 1990, doesn't see this as a real challenge for Tyson at all. It's not going to be good for Jake, Douglas told Gambling Zone.
I don't know if he's in his prime. He's fat. He should be lean and mean. He's fat and funky. I saw him with his shirt off the other day. He's fat. I thought, did you start training already?
Buster Douglas was fat, am I right?
I know, but you're no Buster Douglas. He's not going to win. Look at he.
In fact, Douglas doesn't even think Jake will have a career after this fight. To him, it's not just about losing. It's about Jake potentially ending his boxing journey altogether. According to Douglas, the best thing Jake can hope for is to make it to the end of the fight, just so he can say he went the distance with Tyson. That's it. That's the victory Douglas sees for Jake. Survival, not winning. If Jake can last, he might get some respect. But Douglas doesn't even seem convinced Jake can make it that far. For Douglas, the outcome isn't just a loss for Jake. It's potentially the end of everything Jake has worked for in the boxing world.
Nice. Come on, punch him. Yeah.
Terence Crawford didn't hold back when asked about the Tyson-Paul fight, and it's safe to say he isn't buying into the hype. When asked by Ariel Helwani if he's excited about the bout, Crawford's response was a blunt, "No, I don't." Crawford respects Mike Tyson. He knows what Tyson has meant for boxing, but that doesn't mean he's interested in seeing him fight Jake Paul. Crawford's main worry is Tyson's health, and he doesn't believe Tyson should be risking his well-being for what he sees as a money-making event. Mike is old, Crawford said.
Mike Tyson is, an icon in boxing, and he's done a lot for boxing in his own right. And I just think Mike is past his prime. Mike is old. I wouldn't want to see Mike go in the ring and get hurt on a fight where he's just doing it just for the money or entertainment. I just think, him having his problems, his health problems.
He doesn't want to see Tyson hurt himself just to put on a show. To Crawford, boxing isn't just about putting on entertainment. It's about preserving the fighter's safety. He understands that Tyson is an icon, a legend, but he isn't convinced Tyson has anything left to prove. And the thought of Tyson risking his health in a fight against a younger, less experienced opponent like Jake Paul, that just doesn't sit right with Crawford. It's as though Crawford sees this fight as a potential tragedy in the making, and he's not interested in being a spectator if it turns out that way.
Lean mean.
Big
Lean
chest.
mean.
1, there we go. 2, 3, 4, good work. 8, 4 more. 9.
Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, two heavyweight stars who rarely see eye to eye, have their own opinions, and they're predictably opposite. Joshua isn't thrilled about Tyson's age in this matchup. He respects Tyson, but sees Jake Paul as the likelier winner purely because of youth. For Joshua, it's less about skill and more about physical prime.
A certain person that's into YouTube. Like a YouTuber, yeah. But that person brings all of these people into boxing, which benefits everyone else that's involved.
Because some of them
the
might stay not just for that match.
Yeah.
They might get into the sport.
And it's a tough game, so everyone viewing helps. So
He's older now, Joshua said, and he hopes Tyson's health holds up. But when it comes to choosing a winner, he's giving it to Jake based on stamina, energy, and age. It's a cautious optimism for Paul, not a ringing endorsement. But Joshua's underlying message is clear. In this fight, age may tip the scales in Jake's favor.
This is another neck exercise that I got from Mike Tyson. A lot of wrestlers do this. Quite dangerous, actually. Physios don't like this type of stuff.
Then you have Tyson Fury. He and Joshua have clashed countless times, and this is just one more point of contention. Fury isn't having any of Joshua's cautious outlook, he's backing Tyson all the way. For Fury, Tyson isn't just a boxer, he's the baddest man on the planet. And Fury believes that title still holds, even at 58. Listen, if Mike Tyson hits anybody, I don't care if he's 90. He's going to knock them out cold, Fury told Helwani. There's no hedging here, no hesitation.
Oh, man,
I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it.
I'm going straight through him.
Woo!
He won't have to wait. He don't have to find me. All the running I'm going to do is right at him. He ain't got to worry about finding me.
Fury sees Tyson as a force of nature, a powerhouse, and he doesn't care how many years have passed since Tyson's prime. And Fury, who's famously named after the legend himself, sees Tyson as an eternal knockout artist. Jake Paul might have youth on his side, but in Fury's mind, that won't save him once Tyson lands a punch. For Fury, the Tyson mystique hasn't faded, and he's betting that Jake will come to regret stepping into the ring with him.
Same camera together. I'm named after this guy. It makes him more of a legend.
Yes, yes.
This man is a bona fide, living, alive legend. And I'm named after him, and I'm proud to be named after him.
But perhaps the most interesting take comes from Eddie Hearn, who isn't just skeptical, he's outright disgusted. To Hearn, the idea of Tyson stepping back into the ring at this stage of his life is nothing short of disturbing. Hearn has been vocal about his disdain for the fight, and he's not shy about his reasons. I don't want to see it, he told pro boxing fans. Hearn idolized Tyson in his youth, but now, watching a visibly aged Tyson prepare to fight feels like a betrayal of his memories of the legend.
Why is he choosing to do it well? He's doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this. So that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson can get bought.
For Hearn, this isn't a comeback story. It's a sad spectacle. And he's not just upset about Tyson's age, he's worried about his health. Hearn can't forget Tyson's struggles in his final professional bouts and the way he faded out of the sport in 2005. Back then, a younger Tyson struggled to stay competitive, eventually losing to Kevin McBride in what was a painful, drawn-out loss. Hearn remembers the toll that fight took on Tyson and wonders, if Tyson couldn't compete then, how is he supposed to fare now, nearly 20 years later? Hearn's words paint a haunting picture of Tyson's career-ending fights. Tyson wasn't just tired, he was spent, his body and mind drained by years of brutal matches. When Tyson announced his retirement after that McBride fight, he admitted he didn't have the fighting guts or the heart anymore. To Hearn, that was Tyson's closing statement, and seeing him come back now feels wrong.
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm a hardcore boxing fan, he's one of my heroes. I find it very sad, but it's a big event. I understand people are going to watch it, and it's entertainment, I guess, but for someone that idolised the guy growing up, yeah, not the best day. He's 58 years old.
Hearn believes Tyson is physically a shell of what he once was, and the thought of him facing someone with Jake's youthful strength makes Hearn's skin crawl. And yet, even as he shares his disgust, Hearn acknowledges that this fight will likely be a spectacle, one that will attract viewers in droves. He understands why it's happening. Even if he personally can't bring himself to support it, Hearn calls the fight a circus, and admits that, like it or not, circuses sell. But that doesn't mean he'll be watching. For Hearn, seeing Tyson in this kind of fight at this age is simply too painful, and he's decided to sit this one out.
But I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch one of my all-time favourite fighters, one of my heroes, I guess, in a boxing ring at 55 years of age.
Evander Holyfield, the man who defeated Tyson not once but twice, is clear on one thing. He's backing Tyson to come out on top against Jake Paul. It's a surprising show of faith considering their infamous history, including that unforgettable ear-biting incident. When asked by Fight Hub TV if a loss to Jake Paul would damage Tyson's reputation or be bad for boxing, Holyfield dismissed the concern. Personally, I wouldn't take it that way, he says, seeing Tyson as a lifelong fighter with a deep understanding of the game. Holyfield knows Tyson's limitations. His speed isn't what it used to be, and Jake's youth gives him an edge in agility, but Holyfield is convinced Tyson has something Jake can't match, raw power that age doesn't erase.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker if he stay close to Mike. If he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great. But he try to stay back from Mike. He gonna get caught. Mike is like a snake.
Holyfield's take is both respectful and realistic. He believes Tyson, despite his age, has a serious shot if he lands one of his classic power punches. "We know that you don't lose your strength with age," Holyfield says. To him, that's what really matters. In his eyes, Tyson doesn't even need to aim for Jake's face. Just a well-placed left hook or a right hand could end it. Holyfield's stance is in stark contrast to others in the industry who have voiced opposition, calling the match a sideshow given the age difference. Conor McGregor and Eddie Hearn have both dismissed the fight as spectacle, unworthy of a real fighter. But for Holyfield, this isn't about age or reputation. It's about Tyson's enduring power and potential to win.
Mike Tyson's one of my favourite fighters of all time, but it's a big event, you know. But I find it quite sad that someone that's achieved as much as Mike Tyson is fighting at, what's he, 58, 50, something like that, and could lose to Jake Paul, but money.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul isn't intimidated. At the official press conference last week, he made his intentions crystal clear. He's planning to knock Tyson out. "What I promised to the people," Jake declared confidently, "Mike will be put to sleep." Jake isn't shy about his ambitions. He's determined to make history and solidify his place as the man who took down a legend. He's not just talking about winning, he's promising to end the fight in a way that no one will forget. "They say he's the baddest man on the planet, so let's find out," Jake taunts, casting himself as the fearless challenger.
I'm going to become a world champion, so a couple fights, 7, 8 more fights left.
Eddie, your reaction to Jake saying he will become a world champion?
Everyone's entitled to have a dream. No, seriously, I'm being serious.
For Jake, this fight is more than just another match. It's about proving himself in a way that transcends typical boxing career moves. He wants Tyson not just as an opponent, but as a final boss, a figure so intimidating that beating him will put Jake's name in the history books. He's chasing the thrill of big risks and big rewards, and Tyson represents the ultimate test. Jake knows that this fight is being watched by millions, and he's framing it as the peak of his career. "Netflix Mike Tyson, it doesn't get any bigger than this," he boasts. Jake's confidence is unshakable, and he wants everyone to believe that on July 20th, he'll be the one standing over Tyson, victorious and unchallenged.
This question is for Jake. Obviously, Mike is one of the biggest hitters that the heavyweight division has ever seen. I just want to know, when you're thinking about his power, he looks very ferocious on Instagram, especially still. Do you feel like you'll be able to take Mike Tyson's power at this stage?
I know I will be able to. I'm a natural born heavyweight.
Then there's Canelo, one of the sport's reigning superstars, who has a more cautious take on the upcoming bout. Canelo recognizes the financial side of things, admitting that he understands why the fight is happening. He sees the dollar signs, the allure, and the massive audience appeal. But he's also honest about the risks, especially for a fighter Tyson's age. In an interview with Lewis Howes, Canelo didn't hold back. "It's risky for Mike Tyson," he says, pointing out the harsh realities of boxing for anyone pushing 60. Canelo respects Tyson as a legend, but he's under no illusions about what a fight like this could mean for someone that age. "Boxing is no joke," he says, acknowledging the danger Tyson is walking into.
Why? Sure. Yeah, because he's 57 and 58, I don't know. And it's boxing is it's not a joke.
It's no joke.
But I know, I get it. I get it. Why they do this? It's a business.
Yeah.
They're gonna fight.
Canelo's concern isn't just about Tyson's legacy, it's about Tyson's health. He knows that stepping back into the ring at this stage of Tyson's life is risky, and he isn't as convinced as others that the payout is worth it. Still, he understands the business side. "It's a business," he shrugs, almost resigned to the idea that financial incentives can overshadow common sense in the boxing world. He's not endorsing the fight, but he's not outright condemning it either. Canelo's view reflects a harsh reality of modern boxing. Big names draw big money, even when there's a clear health risk involved.
You say you want to be a world champion. You say you want to take this sport serious. Then take it serious. What is this? This is not a popularity contest. I'm actually praising Jake.
Oscar De La Hoya, on the other hand, has gone through a complete change of heart regarding the fight. Initially, De La Hoya was one of the most vocal critics, slamming the fight for what he saw as Jake Paul's disrespect to the sport. You say you want to be a world champion, De La Hoya challenged Jake in a Fight Hub TV interview, then take it serious. He wasn't interested in seeing Jake use Tyson as a stepping stone to fame or fortune. De La Hoya has always been one to value the sport's legacy, and he was concerned that Jake was turning the match into a spectacle rather than a legitimate fight. To him, Jake was only in it for the money, using Tyson's name to elevate his profile without putting in the genuine work needed to reach championship levels.
You don't think Tyson is a serious opponent for him?
Come on. 61 years. I saw him the other day. I love Tyson. I told him
he can punch.
Of course. He's got a puncher's chance the first 3 rounds. I'm a little scared of Tyson getting hurt after the 3rd round.
But in a surprising twist, De La Hoya has come around. He now finds himself looking forward to the fight, and he's even expressed a bit of admiration for Jake's dedication. Jake Paul, he's moving up, he's becoming a better fighter, De La Hoya admits, almost reluctantly. For De La Hoya, Jake's willingness to face Tyson, knowing the risks, shows a level of focus and ambition that he can't help but respect. This shift isn't because De La Hoya thinks the fight will be an even match, but because he's starting to see Jake as someone who's serious about proving himself.
It's not going to be dangerous for Tyson. It will not be dangerous for Tyson because...
De La Hoya even went so far as to predict how he thinks the fight will go. If it's before 3-4 rounds, I have to go with Tyson by knockout, he says, convinced that Tyson's power is still dangerous enough to end things quickly. But he's wary about what could happen if the fight drags on. De La Hoya knows that Tyson's conditioning isn't what it used to be, and if Jake can survive the first few rounds, he may have a chance to outlast Tyson. If it goes past 4 rounds, I have to worry about Tyson's conditioning, he says, noting that Jake's youth could become a decisive factor.
Jake Paul's a big boy. He's, 26 years old. Tyson's 61. I'm happy for Tyson that he's making money and that Tyson's still...
He knows that Tyson is still Tyson, that his power hasn't faded completely, even if his reflexes and speed have. But he also sees Jake as a potential threat, especially if he can weather the early storm and force Tyson into the later rounds. And then there's a final twist. De La Hoya can't ignore Jake's physical transformation. He looks big, he looks huge, De La Hoya notes, hinting that Jake's training has clearly been intense. So whatever spray he's taking, it's working, he jokes, perhaps a bit enviously, as he acknowledges Jake's impressive physicality going into the match. Well, what do you think of the fight? And who do you see winning? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.